Questions 11 through 20 on the 2008 Grade 9 Pascal Math Contest. At Mathville Junior High School, 30 boys and 20 girls wrote the Pascal Contest. Certificates were awarded to 30% of the boys and 40% of the girls. What percentage of all the participating students received certificates? 30 boys times 30% will give me 9 boys that got a certificate. And then 20 girls times 40% will give me the total number of girls, and that is 8 that got a certificate. So the total number of students that got a certificate was 9 plus 8, and we have to divide that by the total number of students that took the Pascal contest, which is 30 plus 20. So this is 17 over 50, and as a percentage, that is 34%. So number 11, the answer is A. In the diagram, the perimeter of the rectangle is 56. What is its area? That's x minus 2, that's x plus 4. So the perimeter is 2 times x minus 2 plus 2 times x plus 4, right? And they tell you that perimeter is 56. So this gives me expanding 2x minus 4 plus 2x plus 8. And collecting like terms, this will be 56 is equal to 4x plus 4. Therefore, 4x is equal to 52, and therefore x is equal to 13. But they don't want you to figure out x, they want you to figure out the area. The area of this rectangle will be x minus 2 times x plus 4, right? Length times width. And since x is 13, that's going to be 13 minus 2 times 13 plus 4. And that looks like 11 times 17. And 11 times 17 is 187. So number 12, the answer is B. 2 to the power third times 2 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 2 is equal to. All right. So we obviously have to sort of combine this because I looked at the answer choices and see the bunch of 6s here, and I see 36s. So they've gotten rid of the 2s and 3s somehow. Well, the rule is that if the exponents are the same, you can combine the bases. So I can combine these two as follows. And if I combine those, I get 2 times 3 all to the power of 3, like that. And very similarly, I can combine these two because they have the same exponents. So again, 2 times 3 all to the power of 2, like that. So this becomes 6 to the power of 3, and this becomes 6 to the power of 2. And then, of course, I can add those exponents, and that becomes 6 to the power of 5. So number 13, the answer is A. Two 3-digit numbers, ABC and DEF, have the following property: ABC plus DEF equals 1,000. None of A, B, C, D, or E, or F is 0. What is A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F? I guess I don't know if there's a scientific way of doing this other than just trial and error. So I just plug in some numbers, and you can plug in any numbers. Like for example, these two, when you add them up, they equal 1,000. And they fit our criteria that none of them are 0. And let's see what the sum is. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6. If you add those up, it equals 28. So you might think, okay, well, that's great, but what if you have another set of two numbers that add up to 1,000? Won't it be different? Well, let's see. Let's choose another one. And like I said, you can choose any one you want. I chose 321. If I do that, then 679. When you add them, you get 1,000. And does it meet my criteria that none of them are 0? Yeah, none of them are 0. And again, 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 6 plus 7 plus 9 is 28 again. So I'm convinced that 28 is the answer. So in a non-scientific way, just through trial and error and plugging in numbers, we get 28. So number 14, the answer is D. In the diagram, the perimeter of PQR is, all right, so they help us out by telling us that's a right angle. So we can immediately figure out QS through Pythagoras. So QS squared plus 20 squared is equal to 25 squared. So that means when you solve this, you get QS is equal to 625, which is 25 squared minus 400. And therefore QS squared is 225. And if you take the square root, you get QS is equal to 15. So put that in there, 15 like that. And now, again, we can use Pythagoras to figure out PQ. PQ squared is equal to 8 squared plus 15 squared. So this is 64 plus 225, and that is equal to PQ squared. And this is 289. And if you take the square root, PQ will be equal to 17. So there we go, 17. So now the perimeter of this triangle PQR is 17 plus 8 plus 20 plus 25. And that is equal to 70. So number 15, the answer is E. A circle has an area of M and a circumference of N. If M over N is 20, what is the radius of the circle? Well, the area of the circle is pi r squared, and they're telling us that is equal to M. The circumference of a circle is given as C, and they're telling us that is N, but circumference is pi times the diameter, or 2 times the radius. Okay? Now they're telling us that M over N is equal to 20. So substitute this in, pi r squared over N, which is pi 2r, is equal to 20. And at this point, the pi's cancel, so you're left with r squared over 2r, like that. And then an r cancels from top to bottom, so you're left with r over 2, like that. And therefore, r is equal to 40. And number 16, the answer is C. The surface area of a large cube is 5,400. This cube is cut into a number of identical smaller cubes. Each smaller cube has a volume of 216. How many smaller cubes are there? So the surface area is equal to 6 times the area of one of the faces, right, of a cube. And the area of the face, if the cube has, let's say, side length equal to x, the area of a face, since a face is a square, is just x squared. And they tell you that surface area is 5,400. So solving, x squared is going to be equal to 900, and therefore x is 30. So we have a cube that has a side length of 30. And then they cut this cube up into smaller cubes, and each smaller cube has a volume of 216. Okay? So we need to figure out the volume of the big cube. And the volume of the big cube is x to the power of 3. So 30 to the power of 3. And that's 27,000. So 27,000 is the volume of the big cube, and they've broken it up into small cubes that have each a volume of 216. So to figure out how many of those small cubes, you take 27,000 and divide it by the volume of each of those. And if you do that, you get 125. So number 17, the answer is B. Alex has $2.65. He has only dimes worth 10 cents each and quarters worth 25 cents each. He has more dimes than quarters. What is the smallest number of coins that Alex could have? So he has more dimes than quarters. That's an important fact in this question. And then 10 cents times the number of dimes plus 25 cents times the number of quarters is equal to his total amount, which is 265 cents. I'm just going to convert the dollars to cents. So we have to solve this based on the condition that D has to be greater than Q. So let's just make a quick table. So we got D, we got Q, and we got T for total number of coins. All right, let's see. Start plugging away here. Let's say Q is 5. If Q is 5, that means I've got 10D plus 125 is equal to 265. That means 10D is equal to, let's see here, that gives me 140. So therefore D is 14. So I've got 14 dimes and 5 quarters. The total will be 19 coins. Okay, 19 is one of the answer choices, but they want the smallest number of coins. Let's see if I can get fewer coins. Fewer coins if I increase the number of quarters. How about if I go up to 7? I can't go up to 6 because if I have 6 quarters, it'll be 150, and that will mean that 115 cents has to equal the number of dimes, and that's not possible since dimes are not multiples of 5, right? So that's why I'm jumping from 5 to 7. If it is 7, I got 10D. 7 times 25, 175, and that's 265. So 10D will be equal to 90, so therefore D is equal to 9. So that means total number of coins is 16. 16 is also one of the answer choices. Let's see if we can go any lower. Can't go up to 8 quarters because that would give me 200, and that would mean 65 cents left over for the number of dimes, which wouldn't be possible since 65 is not a multiple of 10. So let's go up to 9 quarters. If I go up to 9 quarters, then it would be 10D plus 225 is equal to 265. So 10D is equal to 40. So D is equal to 4. All right. That gives me a total of 13. That's smaller. But here's the thing. D has to be greater than Q. So this is invalid since D is not greater than Q. So the only one that we can choose is this one. So the number of coins, or the smallest number of coins, is 16. So number 18, the answer is B. An integer is defined to be upright if the sum of its first 2 digits equals its third digit. For example, 145 is upright integer since 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. How many positive 3-digit integers are upright? Let's just work case by case. Let's say the first digit is a 1. Second digit, let's say, is 0. Then the third digit must be 1, right? Because 1 plus 0 is 1. And very similarly, if it's a 1 and 1, that's going to be 2. 1 and 2, it's going to be 3. 1 and 3, it's going to be 4, and so on, right? So when the first digit is 1, we can figure out the number of cases pretty quickly. 178, 189, and I think that's it. 189 is when it ends, because 19 would be 1910, and you can't have that. So how many did I get here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 9. Okay. So the first digit, let's try 2. Again, 202, 213, 224, and like that, right? You can do this pretty quickly. Oops, 235. Yeah, you can do it quickly, but make sure you don't make a mistake. So 2, 4 is 6, 2, 5, 7, 2, 6, 8, 2, 7, 9, and then that's it. Because if you try 2, 8, this would have to be 10, and obviously 10 is not a single digit. So for 2, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8. And then similarly, you'll see a pattern. For 3, you can do 303, 314, 325, 336, 347, 358, 369, and then 37 would have to be 10, and that's not going to be valid. So for 3, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Well, at this point, you get the point, right? It's going to go down by 1 each time. So for the 4s, you're going to get 6. For the 5s, you're going to get 5. For the 6s, you're going to get 4. For the 7s, you're going to get 3. For the 8s, you're going to get 2. And finally, for the 9s, you will have just 1. So this is the equivalent of adding up 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way up until 9. And that is going to be 9 times 10 divided by 2, which is equal to 45. So number 19, the answer is D. 4 of the 6 numbers, 1867, 1993, 2019, 2025, 2109, and 2121 have an average of 2008. What is the average of the other 2 numbers? All right, so this is a lot of trial and error, but it doesn't need to be a lot of trial and error. One thing that you can do is just look at what is the difference from each number to 2008. Okay, so if I do that, it'll help me out a little bit more. 2008 till that number, what is the difference? Well, it's minus 141 for 1867. It's minus 15. It's plus 11, plus 17, plus 101, and plus 113. When you add 4 of these differences have to equal 0, right? That's the only way you're going to get an average of 2008. And if you stare at this not too long, you'll be able to find out or figure out that it's got to be these 4, right? Because 113 plus 117 is 130. 130 plus 111 is 141. 141 minus 141 is 0. And that's the only way you're going to get those 4 numbers, these 4 numbers, to have an average of 2008. So that's a quick way of doing it. And therefore, the numbers that are remaining are these 2 guys, 1993 and 2109. And they want the average of those 2 numbers. And the average of those 2 numbers is 2051. So, number 20, the answer is D.